Doctor's like, just going to check your heart. I've got the old stethoscope, so I can hear. You won't be able to hear your own breathing.
Yeah, you won't be able to hear this.
But I'll be able to hear it. Just going to pop that on your deep breath for me. Deep breath for me. Ooh. What? So, everything all right, Doc? Doc, this is my dream to play for Liverpool. Everything's okay.
Every time.
Just a bit. Ooh, that's very wheezy. That's a bit. That is wheezy. Really, I've never had any problems.
And they say I'm pretty sure I'm not asthmatic. Listen to me, you little runt. Do you want to play for the Liverpool Football Club?
Let's begin. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the James and Flav for Now podcast. We want to start strong. You guys who aren't moist sluggy wuggies, you've just missed out on the weakest start we've ever started on a podcast, and thus, so that's what's just gonna keep it fresh for you guys. If you want the dregs, links in the description. Yeah, you're gonna have to pay. Let's start strong in this football podcast with this sentence. My mother's keen on the mushrooms you were pushing last week. She'd love to know what they're called and where you can get them.
Your mum?
My mum. I'm concerned. Why, mum, are you asking about mushrooms?
Mrs. Allcott is watching the show?
Yeah.
Oh, hello, Mrs. Allcott.
Clearly,
Valerie. Obviously, Valerie.
Valerie, yeah. She's messaged me this morning.
There you go. There it is, right there. They're called Space Goods. Get your son to order you some.
Yeah,
they're quite expensive. It's like 40 quid, that is. But apparently, it gives you energy. You can go all day. And
there you go, mum. P.S. Random Christian, what is... And do you know what she's done here? Clever mother. She's done the angel emoji to try and completely negate the fact that she's keen to do mushrooms.
What magic mushrooms?
I think that's what she thinks.
Well,
she's trying to placate it with that emoji. What is the mushroom-based supplement? By the way, what's the mushroom-based? I've been meaning to ask you. What's the quick one? Really quick. Just answer it. Don't think about it. What is that? Those mushrooms that your friend Flav does? Your mum
is a child. She lived through the 60s, the swinging 60s.
How dare you? No, she didn't. Oh, barely. She wasn't out there. She wasn't old enough to
70s.
Really,
then.
yeah. Well,
70s is where
she was at a prime. If I'm honest.
How do you know?
I don't know. Just
when was she born?
58.
Come on. You think what in the 70s she wasn't out partying, getting up to all sorts? Yeah. Ask her. She'll tell you.
Let us know, mum, in the comments down below. Right. Let's upgrade this. Let's make it a bit more high end with the Jim Big Laugh Award, which leads us to the quote of the week. By the way, we've got a couple of new bits knocking about. We've got some really insightful stuff that I just want to get Flav's take on. And we'll have a look at Twitter's wrong titles this week.
Are we talking about Liverpool at all?
We may be talking about Liverpool and the possibility of the cycle ending. Is it over? Let's discuss that. But I really want to raise it before we lose any news. Lovers of the pod. Wrestle Planet. Quote of the week last week. I feel like bumming off is just bumming yourself with something. The words of an articulate Sky Sports journalist. A lot of people enjoying the bumming off chat last week.
I can't remember exactly what it was.
Yeah, it was. I think it was Arsenal and Chelsea fans. Actually, I've got
bumming each other off. Yeah.
The insightful comment later in the pod is from a Chelsea fan who does like to sort of gently lace in power moves, but he's offering a calm take as to why Chelsea hate Spurs. So I'm intrigued to hear what you've got.
I know why. I know why they hate us. It's because we're massive and they can't deal with it. They don't understand it. We'd never win anything, and we're still a bigger club than they are.
do you think Chelsea fans are going, fuck, he knows?
Fucking, they know. They know.
Have you seen Flav's podcast? Have you seen what he says? Yes, yeah, he knows.
That's fantastic. He knows why he hates us.
It's actually like fan banter is so hard-headed, isn't it? There's no true digesting of what the other person's saying apart from for a second. It's like You're sort of like gut punch and then go, well, what have you won recently? And it's just that's what it is. It's like that, which is good. But yeah. Imagine people just gave in. Good. You know what? You're right. My problem with Spurs is they're huge, and I'm afraid they're going to win everything. I mean, which is possibly the truth.
Terrified. Everyone's afraid about how massive Spurs are. That's what it is.
Okay.
We're just massive, and everyone's afraid of us. And that's what it is.
Do you think the real fear is that you are massive, but what if you win? The fear they're actually other fans of clubs are living in fear over the possibility of you winning it or something.
It's just so that's how massive we are. We haven't even won anything.
We need to win anything. Amazing.
We don't need to win because we've already won in a way because everyone's terrified of the idea that Tottenham will win something.
Yeah,
I don't even want to win anything. I think winning anything is like it's like the opposite of what you're trying to do. If anything,
what's better?
We take part really well.
Yeah, you do. What's the better space to be in as a Spurs fan? The bit where it looks like you might win something, or actually, would it be nicer to win something?
No, because once you've won something, it's over, isn't it?
Yeah, then you're just same as the rest of them. Then you'll just be another massive club, but you're a massive club that doesn't win anything, but it's still massive. Which is actually a bit of a achievement.
We're on our journey. Do you see what happens to clubs that win stuff? Look at Man City. Look at their fan base when they score. It's like, scored another goal.
I saw that. Someone tweeted that. It was like the fourth goal against Bournemouth, and it was like
that's success.
That is tough though. I remember we were in Division 2 and we were sort of pumping the likes of Chesterfield 3-0, and you knew going there you were probably going. That was going to be the case. It is harder to really,
I'm not blaming them. I'm not blaming them. I'm saying I understand it. I understand that if you win everything, winning becomes less important. It doesn't feel as good. I get it. And also added to the fact that the way Man City have gone about it is like even their fans know deep down none of this counts. But they're all got to be honest with themselves. The reason why Boovy's like so. His opinions are so direct and heavy and not really in basis of much reality is because he's lashing out because he knows, unfortunately, everything Man City do doesn't really count. Do you know what I mean? There's no, it just doesn't count, does it? You can win as many.
Whoa, slow down. That's normally a November take. You got a long season ahead. Save that kind of stuff.
They need a lot of losing. They need to lose a lot in order for it to start to mean.
Do you know what
is to feel something? They're like this. Yeah. They're like this billionaire who can't get off to normal porn anymore. So you have to go and get beaten up at a weekend just to get up. That's essentially Man City fans there. You can't just winning games isn't enough anymore. They've got to bum themselves with a pole.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Someone from Poland. That is interesting though. The fact of would you rather
himself with a Polish person?
Right. Would you rather in the chat or in the live chat
with bum myself with a Polish person? It's the only way I can get off.
Make sure you subscribe. To the Sluggy Wuggies, the Moist Sluggies. Answer this: would you rather live in a world where the excitement comes from the possibility of winning, the jeopardy in that, or in the excitement actually comes from when you nearly lose but then don't? Because that's because Man City Bournemouth, that game 4-0 is not exciting. And this isn't about Man City, it's just about the situation they're in, right?
Yeah.
4-0 when you're regularly winning 4-0. But if Bournemouth put up a fight and snuck a goal early and there's 25 minutes to go, living in that space is actually more exciting as a fan, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hence we need a Super League, and they will march their way towards it. Have they they've had a friendly against Barcelona yesterday?
What was that about?
I don't know. Was it for charity? Okay. Well, if it was,
you've got to be careful.
Yeah.
It depends how much of a charity as well, isn't it? What kind of charity? Not all charities get a buy.
Okay.
Like,
But I mean, once the but do it in pre-season though. Do it in pre-season.
If it's a charity for something like really important, like cancer research, play whenever. But if it's like raising money for dyslexia, not good enough.
Yeah, find a different way to read. Joking. All right. Next comment in Jim Big Laugh Award. We will get to these wrong titles in just a second. Curtis 1888. As a regular slug, I decided to start listening to the podcast en route to my girlfriend's house before we started a 5-hour drive down to go to a wedding. Due to the length... 5-hour what?
Saturday sesh.
Yeah. It's a 5-hour... yeah. I'm going to pop round, love. 5-hour sesh, is that right? Yeah, of course. It's Friday. I saw Geordie talking about on the podcast.
Just quickly, that game was to raise funds for ALS research, which is really important. Sorry,
bollocks. All right, not bollocks, but great. Okay, fine. I didn't know.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. What was I going to say?
So Geordie.
Oh, Geordie. I was listening to a podcast with Geordie. He's on a flagrant one, and he said he got given a Viagra when he was 21, and he had a 9-hour sex session. 9 hours. Christ.
That is impressive. Boring. Get to a certain point, you go, God, this is a bit boring now.
He said they were having cups of tea in between. Just so he'd pick her up, just gently moving over to the kettle, pop the kettle on.
That's amazing.
Trying to pour and poo and shag. Oh, God. Anyway,
is that Andrew Schultz?
Yeah.
Fuck, that's a big deal. Geordie's a big deal. It's a big fucking deal.
It's a big deal. Due to the length of the journey, I thought I could pass the time by playing the second half of the podcast en route, and told my girlfriend that it was a football-related podcast. Having heard Flav talk about why fans are obsessed with Spurs, I turned round to see a look of shock and horror on my girlfriend's face as Jim asked the question, would you self-bum if you could self-bum? A hard one to explain to the missus that this was in fact a football-based podcast and not a weird fetish-related one. But we can only move forwards. Curtis, I feel like you've missed an opportunity there where she's gone, like she's just shocked and horror. You know, she's shocked by, would you self-bum if you could self-bum? And you could have quickly gone, oh, it's like a football thing. It's like, it's like, would you...
tactic.
It's like a tactic. Yeah. I don't know. What's the football? How would you turn that into a football thing? Self-bum. I don't know. But I feel like if you could have got there quickly enough, you would have been fine. Self-bum, it's like, oh, he's a player.
Self-bum.
They mean self-bum.
Well, Steven Self-bum. Yeah. He's Dutch.
Yeah. With him and Jizz Hornkamp. She wouldn't believe that. She believes Steven's self-bum. Anyway. And new bit, possibly, I doubt it, but we'll see. First of all, let's set the record straight. Charlie Hodges said, was Flav slightly tired in this one? I counted 9 sizable yawns. Defo recovering from an enormous session at Fleet Services. Congrats on 200k, JLA. Flav, do you want to set the record straight?
I had COVID.
Yeah. Okay. Just get that is out of the way. And Elijah,
no, I do like a little yawn. It used to bother you, didn't it, when we was on bullshit and I'd be on camera going, you stop fucking yawning.
I always find it really funny when people sort of hold in the yawn and sort of tighten up their top lip.
Yeah, they go.
It's tough. It's tough when you're desperate to yawn. Like, I don't know I would love to know an actual way of either stopping a yawn quickly, all right, Flav, tend to piss, or a way of disguising it. I guess you can go like that, but I think people often see it when you go.
You got that. You're being polite.
Trying your best, but I'm trying to be polite because I do like you, but God, you're boring me. Tough.
I don't get it when people do take offence to it though, because yawning it's nothing to do with being bored at all. It's nothing to do. It's about lack of sleep or the process.
Respect.
So everyone needs to shut up.
Okay. This was the top comment last week. There was a lot of confusion. You even called me up, and I was confused for a while. I didn't know what was going. Because there was all sorts of comments of saying, "Oh, I love the bit where James said Steve Bruce was a tactical genius," and Flav loves Arsenal. Elijah said, I know it's a slightly harsh criticism, but having no sound on this video is a big negative. It really takes away from the conversation.
It's a slightly harsh criticism. So what happened? It just uploaded with no audio.
YouTube must have stopped it, and then I don't know what was going on. So apologies for that. I guess not from me, from YouTube. But then like 20 minutes later, I guess it was on. But the frothy slugs were just gagging for some Jaff and action. So
didn't impact the performance of the video, did it?
No, watch time was higher. No, watch time was pretty much the same, which is also disappointing. But it was. And what was funny was there was a few replies, people going, "Oh, that's harsh, Elijah. Don't like. It's a creative expression. It's a video podcast. He never said it was an audio podcast. We said it was a video podcast. Although we are on Spotify. And that's some people were going like, up yours. You've been asking for it to be on Spotify for like a year and a half. Go, yeah, we'll put it on Spotify. No sound. But yeah, that didn't happen. It's there now on Spotify. Actually, and that was so. I've got an idea. Do you think, Flav, you know podcasts, you know the podcast game. Do you think that if everyone who's subscribed to us on iTunes on the podcast unsubscribed, and then everyone who watched, because we have like 50,000 people watching each week now at the moment, probably will go down. Let's see. If you got 50,000 people as an army of slugs to all subscribe to the podcast that week, where would we chart?
Well, they would have to listen to it as well, but fucking high.
Really?
Like, yeah. If 50,000 people went to Spotify, subscribed, and listened to the show, even
5-star rating, right?
And a 5-star rating, easily top 10.
Really?
Yeah.
What, in like sports or anything?
Probably in all. Maybe sports. Top 50,000 listens in 1 week. The algorithm would go crazy. It'd be like, fuck, let's promote these guys.
You know, do we look to mobilise the slugs? Maybe
maybe
give ourselves a couple of weeks to put the message out, and then go hoard, and then charge.
Well, what we'll do on the first
wouldn't that be funny?
First week of September, right? When we drop the pod, as soon as it drops, everybody goes. It won't be the first. What will that day be? Let's say now.
2 weeks time.
Now, in the second of when you're putting it out, it would be on a Thursday or a Friday.
Do you know what would be good? I was just thinking, you're getting married on the 11th, right? Could we make you a top 10? Sorry, top 10
for the 10th for my wedding.
Top 10 for the 10th as a wedding present.
Right. All right, as a wedding present to me. Right? So that when will the pod drop on the 8th? Then on the Thursday.
Yeah.
Right on that day, everyone over to the Spotify. Like, I think the thing is, it's not Spotify. It's iTunes.
It goes on both though, doesn't it? It goes on both.
Apple, iTunes. Does Spotify have
on Acast? It goes on both, doesn't it?
Yeah, but the ratings needs to be on. What charts are we talking about? Yeah, our Apple podcast charts. This is not,
whatever. You tell me. I want to. We could make you a top 10 podcaster. Make this a top 10 podcast.
We'll work it out, but we're going to mobilise. We're going to mobilise.
Right. If anyone knows what we need to do that, Rebecca says, don't release it on YouTube for a week. People have to listen to it on Spotify.
Oh, okay. Podcast. Spotify have a podcast charts. Let's do that.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, we'll do it on Spotify. So just head over to Spotify. 5-star ratings.
Not yet, though. Not yet.
Not yet.
If anything, unsubscribe. If everyone could unsubscribe from the podcast on, not on YouTube. I've just got to 200k on Spotify or on iTunes. Just unsubscribe for now, and we'll come back to this next week.
8th. Yeah, the 8th of. Yeah, we'll come back to it. 8th. Yeah, I reckon top 10.
Okay. Amazing. That'd be mad.
I mean, fuck, that'd be great. Like,
do you know
how many more people will listen to the podcast that don't even know?
I'd love to be above the high performance podcast. That'd be funny.
I had a dream about Jake. You know, I have these dreams. Jake Humphries is in my dreams, and he was on his way out of a door looking really sad, and I went, "Don't worry, Jake, you'll be back," or something along those lines.
You'll be back.
Yeah, it was like a couple of nights ago.
It doesn't he left BT, right?
Fuck, that's what it is. My brain going, So he was walking along. He had like an old detective Mac on, and I was in this bar.
Like a private inspector who solved the case, and now it's time to leave.
Yeah.
Wow.
And he just went, and I went, don't worry, I patted him on the back. Don't worry, Jake, you'll be back. I couldn't believe he's so like disliked.
Yeah, people do seem to dislike him, but yeah, I mean,
he's all right.
He had a bit of trouble on LinkedIn, didn't he?
What?
He came across a bit smug. He said something that could be misconstrued as like he'd started podcasts.
Fuck, we're 46th. We are already 46th in the charts.
Oh, yeah. I mean, is that good? It's not really, is it? Is it?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Hang on, which chart?
We haven't even fucking pushed the Spotify charts. We haven't even pushed it. And we're 46th. Who's listening?
Bizarre.
About this is above 606. BBC 606.
Is that just because we've just put it live now on Spotify in the last couple of weeks? That's mad. You're saying something's happening? I mean, is that what you're saying?
What? Sorry, is that not good enough for you, James?
I don't know. Do you know what I got? Do you know why I'm tentative? I got stung. Do you remember when I went, I think we're 20th in the charts, and it was like some website that like tries to then like steal your data because it gives you like all these charts that get you excited.
No, these are official charts.
Wow.
They're official charts. I'll send you the link. You can have a look.
Go on then.
Is this good?
I'm probably not. Probably waffling a bit now. Let's move on. We will mobilise the slugs. It's about time. Right. Let's talk about Kloppy Woppy.
Well, the thing is with Liverpool,
wait and let me link to you, Flav. Okay? Let me fucking link to you. So we asked, because I think this is a good one. This is a good run for a while. We're recording Jaffin. I'm in the market for a banging title. Wrong answers only. And we've got some good ones. So possible title, Matty Noble, Klopp. He ain't won nothing twice. He's got to go tonight. What really happened on Sky Sports News? Do you know what really happened on Sky Sports News, actually? I'll just answer that quickly.
Go on.
There's a bit in the break where we've got a Skype with... Oh, no, sorry. We're doing a Skype with someone, and everyone has to ask a question. And my camera is it's like a jib camera, so it's quite far in the distance with a little monitor, which is a bit scary when you haven't read too much auto cue, and obviously you're live on television. And then all of a sudden I hear in my ear, we need him to ask, there's something happening with Edison Cavani, can you ask a question about that instead? We're going to put it in the auto cue for you. I was like, okay, fine. And then he's answering the question before, and it's my question next, and then the auto cue like resets, and there's a question about Edison Cavani, but it's one where it's in caps lock, but he's pressed shift to do the capital letters for the other thing. So the letters are all like capital and then small and all over the place.
The producer has typed this in for you to read.
He's tried to type it in quickly. I'm like, it must have been on caps lock. So he's gone like shift for the E and like some of the letters, and it's all over the place.
Which it's for your brain is really jarring to see when you're trying to read something. What happened?
Literally, like a second before I had to ask the question, it then changed, and I was fine. I knew.
Isn't there some sort of automatic sort of process that it fixes errors, like AI kind of thing?
I don't know. Yeah, mate. I don't know. I have no idea. But that's what really happened on Sky Sports News.
Anyway.
Got some good goss actually, but it's too hot. It's too hot for this. I can't. Career over if I do.
Did someone get fingered?
No, no one got fingered. No, I don't think anyone got. No, I'm going to be clear on this. No one got fingered. Okay. All right. Do I? Yeah. Get cancelled this year. Anyway, let's keep going. So a lot of Liverpool. Klopp and Trent out, says Nigel Martin's son, Thomas. Liverpool crisis. What really happened on Sky Sports? Yeah, just told you. How many does Klopp have left? And
how many games does can Klopp not win? And draws and losses. How many draws and losses till Klopp has to go? 15, 20.
And obviously we can include the current form in this, can't we?
Yes.
Because as we scroll down, it's Liverpool and Everton down there, aren't they? So is that true? Hang on, 3 games. So 2 draws. They haven't won a game yet.
Yes, that's the point.
Sorry, I just forgot.
Yeah.
So they're on the 3 without a win. So without a win, let's ask that question. How many without a win?
Yeah. So I mean, if Bournemouth beat them, and Bournemouth have pwned. I mean, even if it's ridiculous, the idea that Klopp could be sacked, it's ridiculous. It's mad, right? But it sometimes becomes a conversation. Suddenly it's like, no, we know we won't get sacked. We know he's really good, and obviously you can't sack Klopp, but... And it's that conversation that we never thought we'd be having. Yeah. It's the but. And that's where Liverpool find the
crack in the door, isn't it?
They're the crack in the door currently. What way will this go?
Because I think if it got to 11 without a win, right?
It's not that Klopp will be sacked. It's just Liverpool's the existence of being a Liverpool fan will be horrendous. That's what it is.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that wasn't the question. But I don't know how you've got to there.
But you know,
that's not even near the question.
Can I explain?
Okay.
Can I explain?
Go on.
Right. Liverpool fans have been so used to winning that the idea that they won't, and then they have to exist in that failure, it's going to be horrendous for them. It'll be terrible. Like, no one's going to. No one's saying Klopp will get the sacked. And if we're answering the question, you know, you're talking about 15, 20 games without winning, then you've got to start asking questions about it.
What happens, I think, is it's like Dortmund. It's like we're not going to sack him, but we do think it's best he maybe goes at the end of the season. Could get to that.
It's funny, isn't it? You say that, right? Because what year did it start to go tits up at Dortmund? About 7 years in.
7th year, yeah. You sent me something this week, didn't you?
Yeah, that's the 7th year of Liverpool, isn't it? 7 years.
Should I be showing this?
Yeah, show this, yeah.
Okay.
So, Klopp at Liverpool, falling apart after 7 years. This is a great tweet from Sunday League Hipster. If only we could find a reason for this weird correlation. How long do inhalers work for? 7 years. Wouldn't it be funny if it was the inhalers, though?
Do Liverpool fans believe in all of this? Is it like officially true?
Yeah, it's a fact that that 85% of the Liverpool squad are asthmatic.
Right.
According to Liverpool Football Club's doctors.
That seems hard.
I mean, 11% is the average. I've looked into this. I think 11%. How many Great British people are asthmatic? What percentage of people are asthmatic?
So Ollie Sage says, I believe it's doping for sure, but I don't think we are the only ones.
No one's saying that about any other club, Ollie. It's just yours.
So Man City doing this, are they?
There's no evidence that Manchester City are doing it. There's only evidence that Liverpool are doing it.
But that seems naive, shall I say, Flav? Because surely if you go, look, that's working, fancy a couple of sucks on this pump. Yes, yeah, I'll be lining up. That's damn.
Yeah, look, they're not breaking any rules because these pumps are allowed. Just saying, you know,
maybe go easy on it, guys.
They only last 7 years. 12% of the population is asthmatic. I don't think non-asthmatics are allowed these pumps, which is why it's interesting that such a high percentage of the Liverpool squad are asthmatic suddenly after joining.
It does seem high.
Could we just, part of your fit, we're just going to check if you're asthmatic. I'm pretty sure I'd know if I was asthmatic. I've never had asthma. I've never had asthma. Yeah, I know, but we're just going to check. Okay, because we're paying a lot of money for you. All right? Nunes, we're paying a lot of money for you. We're just not confident that the system in Portugal is robust enough to find out if you're asthmatic. So let's just do the fucking test. Shut up. Take the test. Yes, you're asthmatic.
Yeah.
You're asthmatic. Luckily we found this because, you know, life-threatening, isn't it?
Doctor's like, just going to check your heart. I've got the old stethoscope so I can hear. You won't be able to hear your own breathing.
Yeah, you won't be able to hear this.
But I'll be able to hear it. Just going to pop that on your deep breath for me. Deep breath for me. Ooh. What? So, everything all right, Doc? Doc, this is my dream to play for Liverpool. Everything's okay.
Every time.
Just a bit. Oh, that's very wheezy. That's a bit. That is wheezy. Really, I've never had any problems ever.
Can you breathe in again, please? One deep breath.
Well, no, but I can hear it. You can't hear it. So yeah. What you're not going to trust? You're not going to trust Liverpool's doctor. I can hear it. Hang on. Yeah. No, fair. Well, can I hear it? Well, no, I'm the doctor. You're not going to understand what you're hearing. Then, just breathe in again. I'll check one more time. Oh no.
Oh yeah. And he said, I'm pretty sure I'm not expecting. Listen to me, you little fucking runt. Do you want to play for New Liverpool Football Club, or do you want to go back to that fucking Farmers League you used to play in?
Yeah. Yeah.
No? Is the answer yes? Then fucking do as I say. Take this inhaler 4 times a day.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got a bit... pop your blazer back on. Pop your blazer back on, because it's a big day for you. That's why you want
your trousers up.
Pull your trousers up. Okay. And he ties his tie up, and then he just pops an inhaler in his top pocket. Now take this with you and use it 8 times a day, all right?
That's brilliant.
I think the real question, though, is, and possibly the title here, so let's see if we can get 5-6 minutes on it. Any comments in the chat, feel free to get involved. I'm sorry, what was your final answer on how many has he got left?
I think 20.
20 without a win. Right. Squirrely Pete. Good name. End of the Klopp cycle? ? What Liverpool need to avoid the drop this season? There's also another good one here as well. So which one's better? Which one's got more meat on the bone? Is it that? Is it the end of the cycle for Klopp? Or secondly, has Klopp failed at Liverpool?
What? They're winless in 3. Has Klopp failed? Look, just to be serious for a second. Do you have to choose? Do you want to choose a title and then we'll talk about it?
Okay, let's go. Let's start with: is it the end of the cycle? Do you feel like it's the end of the cycle for him? Obviously, we're all jumping the gun, and
because it's funny. It's funny to do it.
And look, there's loads of. Go watch my reaction. I got heat for that for not going hard on Liverpool. I think because people, I tell you what, Liverpool fans I've noticed have. Isn't it amazing? Like James Milner, like what he has offered the culture of that club, Henderson, the leadership he has provided, and the quality, years and years and years, and
faithful servant, both of them servants,
ridiculously.
There's been documentaries made about Henderson.
Very good ones by Mr. McKenna. Go check it out. Yeah. And all of a sudden, the quickness of which they've just threw them in the trash.
Not good enough.
Absolutely thrown them in this midfield. We should have strengthened in the summer. Like, what do you want? Do you want integrity or not?
Can't have both.
Okay, maybe it's not the ideal midfield, but you've got people out.
But suddenly these guys.
I'm sorry. This is too good, John. After a 30-year career, James Milner discovers he's had asthma this whole time. Got in way too heavy too quickly on that Liverpool midfield. No?
Yeah, I think so. It's just one game. He didn't play that badly. The thing is, and you see cycles are important in football, and the very best players are unaffected by them. And it's not about the quality of the player, it's about how hearing the same messages can how effective can those messages be if you're hearing them over and over again. Klopp and his team aren't going to change too much from what won in the Champions League and what won in the league, because that works. It clearly works. Liverpool have been the best, or if not one of the best teams in Europe for 6 of Klopp's 7 years at the club. So it works. But like with Trent Alexander-Arnold, I really hate that they're just people outside. I understand why Liverpool fans call him Trent. I get it. But
quicker,
no one else.
You called Kieran Trippier Trips.
He was our own player.
I remember it.
He was our own player. He was our own player. I don't like that either, and I'm ashamed that I did that. I am ashamed of myself, but he was our own player. But people just going Trent. Like, you wouldn't. If he was playing for Bolton, no one would be using his first name. They'd say Alexander-Arnold. Anyway, Trent is he's fallen off a little bit. Not because he's a bad footballer or turned a bad footballer. He's brilliant. It's just you can't expect that level of performance forever. They're going to have dips.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
And I ask a yes or no answer for the chat as well. On my moist sluggy wuggies. That game with that midfield, do you still win that game if Mane's playing? If Mane's on the pitch?
I think you possibly. Sorry, do Manchester United still win if Mane's playing for Liverpool?
If you just,
I mean, he might.
Firmino, if you play Mane instead of Firmino, or you play Mane instead of Diaz, do they win that game?
That front line should be good enough. Firmino, Diaz, Salah.
My answer is yes, because when I was watching that game, what was very beneficial and useful in a sort of a time of turmoil for Man United was the fact that really Liverpool played quite narrow at times and didn't get in behind. They did not get in behind Man United at any point. And Man United, so like Martinez, instead of having Darwin Núñez like on him and stretching the play for the rest of the team, or Mane making those diagonal runs from the left hand side. You had everything. They had everything in front of them, and if they'd had more going in behind, and if they did have Mane, and of course you have to move on, you have to change, you have to bring in new players. They take time to acclimatise, all those things. But I honestly think people aren't tearing apart that midfield if you've got Mane in the team, because you'd play a little bit differently. You'd get in behind them, and I think you probably would have won the game. That's how I feel about it.
Yeah, I mean, what? Maybe, but it's. I think that game was won on just who wanted it, the occasion. Like Man United stepped up, and sometimes in these derbies or these huge rivalries, a team it often doesn't go the way you expected it to go. Although I had an inkling that Man United would perform much better than people assumed they would, just because the narrative's going into it. It's always the way, isn't it? But I think it felt like from the start that the United players just had something to prove, and they wanted it more. I don't think player absences was the reason why Liverpool played.
Do you know what I do? I do. I think if Matip's playing, you've got someone who can kind of dribble out with the ball. If Fabinho's playing,
Gomez is no good now, is he? Is that what?
It's not that he's no good, but it's not. He's not as good, and he's not played as much. If you have Fabinho in that team, it's different because it means Henderson could play higher up if you wanted to. If you have Thiago, that provides control as well. Like if you had Jota,
Thiago, he's played half the games. He's been available for half the games, so
but he's good in those games. They're a better team when he's in those games.
But it doesn't.
You're only an amazing team when you've got your amazing players.
Do you think Milner and Henderson had horrendous games?
No, I actually thought Milner was. I thought Milner was trying to get him going. I thought
he did all right.
I thought
Harvey Elliott's supposed to be his second coming, just given a new contract.
Yeah,
it's too easy. It's too easy to say that Man United didn't. Man United had McTominay and Eriksen in the midfield. Eriksen isn't even he doesn't even play in that position typically. I don't mind Henderson in that position, but it's not his best position, and they're much better team with Fabinho there. And I also think it was annoying me. Trent kept playing too narrow, where he could have played wider, and they could have gone. They could have played differently. So yeah, I don't think it was about that midfield. It's about the players that you're missing. You've got your best team. Man United need to be given credit. That's what I'm saying. They made that happen. The Elanga on the left was
great.
It was fantastic. Yeah. But would you swap him for? There's not a Liverpool fan that would swap him out for Diaz. Not one.
Yeah, true.
With the fullbacks, I don't even know who that left back is. I've never heard of him. What's his name? Malacia. Has he signed this season?
Yeah.
No one cares. Doesn't matter, right? But no one would be swapping Dallas. No one swapping either of those fullbacks for Robertson or Alexander-Arnold, right?
No.
So what I'm saying is, give them the credit. They did well. They did. McTominay in
right.
midfield. Is it? Tell me a Liverpool fan who's swapping Henderson for McTominay. Anyone?
Yeah, exactly.
Find me one that will.
I just feel like they didn't have enough to break down Man United, and I think it was very useful that Man United, with the assets they had, were playing a counter-attacking game, and I would be wary of thinking that everything's sorted. Unfortunately, you got players coming through, but I can see who they got next. I could see Southampton. I can see them losing to Southampton easily. So easily, because it's the difference between, okay, we're going to defend, and then, oh, look, there's all that space, and Rashford's pretty quick, and Elanga's pretty quick. Let's get in behind and play quickly. And, okay, you're defending for your lives. We need to break you down now. Like, that's the difference for me. But my concern with Liverpool is the fact that do you remember when they had that bad run, it was because teams were going, we're gonna have this sort of low block and try and break us down, and Liverpool weren't capable of that, and that's it feels like that a little bit at the moment. And again, when you haven't got those great players and someone stretching it makes life difficult for them. But should be beating Bournemouth, shouldn't you, at home?
Hands up, no issue at all.
That's
no issue at all.
Yeah. Do you know what, though? Over the years at Anfield, I swear they've had like bad games against promoted sides. I remember Watford went and beat them once, like years and years ago, I think. So yeah. Be wary. We must beware hubris of Fulham. I told you this. I was doing a Vox Pops with Fulham at Fulham QPR game because an agent wanted to sign me. He didn't in the end, and he wanted to put me forward for this Olympics thing. So he said, "Oh, can you go do a Vox Pops thing?" So I went and did it. And Fulham had beaten QPR 6-0 earlier in the game, and I started talking to this woman and her dad, and the dad was just this Fulham chap, and I asked the woman the question, and then asked him, and then he went, "We must beware hubris." I was like, "Wow, you're a Fulham fan, believe in that."
What does that mean?
We must arrogance, basically. We must beware. Being
hubris.
Arrogant going into we must beware hubris. Fantastic.
Nice. Excessive pride. That's what a great word.
It is. It's great. It's a great. Last couple of good titles just before we go, and I'll pop this in next week as well. Allcott's Arsenal, top of the league.
Stop that. Stop.
I didn't say it. I'm just reading out a tweet.
Don't read it out. What you fucking favourited? I can see you favourited that tweet.
Arteta better than Klopp? James Sweet Gunners sure think so.
Oh God, their demise is going to be so fucking sweet when they stop winning and start losing their minds. I'm going to be here for it.
You are going to love it, aren't you?
They trust me on this. Trust me. Listen to me. There will be several times this season where #Arteta out will be trending, guaranteed. You won a few little games against some shitty little opponents. Think you're dog's bollocks. You wait.
Little butters with Lee Judges, that was.
Yeah, I love Lee so much. Honestly, if you fucking bastard,
yeah,
he's
done it again.
He's done it again, that bastard.
you could totally understand the frustration out of it.
Oh mate, yeah. Lee, for the record, Lee Judges is a wonderful, wonderful human being. It's easily my favourite. If I have to have a favourite Arsenal fan, it's Lee Judges.
Okay. Jurgen Klopp ate my hamster, and live from Fleet Services as a title. I was howling, absolutely howling at that. That was funny. And there was one right at the end. I think where was it? It was good. It was something about that's it. Chat shit, get out my rond. That was great, wasn't he? Got himself a little goal. Such a shame VAR.
For him. Great, that game against Man City, and I usually hate watching Man City play because I just pass them to death. But that was a good game, isn't it?
That's football.
That was great. Football, Jim. That is football. I've been enjoying the football this year.
Good.
So far.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Right, Flav, on here, your take on this. Why do Chelsea hate Spurs? Or why do football fans in general hate Spurs? If you're a fan of another club and you hate Spurs, let us know why. Because Flav is confused and he'd like to know. I'm confused
why we're living in so many people's heads if we're so rubbish.
So now CB, he gives everything here to try and give a calm take, but then I get dragged into it. It's a shame. So let's read.
Looking forward to this.
Flav, if you want to know why Chelsea fans, because what I noticed reading this, I was thinking if he's trying to be like he's trying to get to the end of this point and us go, fair enough, all right, cool. Right. It's so I realize it is such a tightrope, and so tell me when he's fallen off, and also tell me when you want me to stop talking, and you can comment on whatever you want, okay? Because it's quite long.
Go on.
Flav, if you want to know why Chelsea fans care so much about Tottenham, which is the real answer, more than the fan fob off answer, it ultimately comes down to a few aspects.
I'm all ears.
Good setup. 1, fans are sheep. With FOMO, they don't want to be the one in the crowd going, wait, I don't have an actual reason to hate Spurs, so they go along with the crowd, and it just becomes ingrained as the thing to do. Right. Anything? Any? No? Okay, you tell me.
I mean, there's a dig there. There's a subliminal. Yeah, there is.
Wait, I don't have an actual reason to hate Spurs. Is that what you're going?
He reckons there's Chelsea fans out there that don't hate us, and
Sorry, say that again.
He's like, it's commonly known that all Chelsea fans hate Tottenham first and foremost. Well, maybe, I'd say Tottenham first.
Okay.
So him saying that actually you're not. What he's saying there is actually Spurs are not for all fans relevant enough to hate. That's the dig in there. But guess what?
I think you're looking for that. But okay,
fair enough.
It's interesting,
all right,
but that's what I mean. This is the dance. Similar to the above, fans are ingrained from dads, friends, etc. From the second you take an interest in football, it's you're a Chelsea supporter because I'm a Chelsea supporter, and so you have to have my values and mindset about everything Chelsea.
Yeah.
Hence why you have people like Rory who'll talk about eras of history he wasn't even born for that are ultimately things he's been told by his dad or older fans more than his own thoughts.
Heritage.
This is where I got a little bit disappointed with CB. Similar to Jim as well, with his hate for Chelsea, despite that was the moment I was like, fuck. Despite the majority of his life, QPR and Chelsea having very little to do with each other, but still call them rivals.
I mean, they do have a lot to do with each other.
We've beaten you twice.
Not even talking about geographically, it's important that you consider that you accept the rivalry, whether or not Chelsea, just because you supported a team, you chose to support Chelsea or was told to support Chelsea, you're so lucky. So you at least acknowledge the heritage of a football club.
That's a good point. 3, ultimately, everyone likes to feel superior while simultaneously not feeling like a dick. So you punch down to QPR and Fulham. Makes you so if you punch down to QPR and Fulham, it makes you look like a dick because they're so far beneath you. Tottenham, however, who at least have the potential to win trophies and are a European regular now. That's fair game in their mind, despite it still essentially being punching down like a dick.
Right. Okay. Haven't explained why you hate us so much. But carry on.
Okay, yeah. Interestingly, I actually thought initially that was the section where he was trying to kind of stay calm with it all. But now when I read it out, it's just laced.
It's more that's good. This is all right. Okay, go.
Okay. If you're 30 years old or younger, you have almost zero reason to care about Spurs as a Chelsea fan. They've knocked Chelsea out of 2 Carling Cups in that period, never stopped Chelsea winning anything else, and it takes them an average of 8 fixtures to register 1 win. So it's not even a competitive rivalry on the pitch, let alone competitive with stature of club, considering everything Chelsea have now won.
Crazy, isn't it, that you're still obsessed?
The response to any of this will ultimately be, obviously you don't live in London, or you'd understand, which again is just point 1, FOMO sheep, that have been told if you live in a certain area of London, you support a certain club and hate your neighbour because you're told to hate your neighbour because they're your neighbour. It's people's own stupidity to not have their own reason for hating Spurs and joining in on the banter more than anything real anymore, as people can't understand that rivalries are not continuous forever just because, in the same way that people will say they hate the French as English despite the fact if war happens, they're our allies. Thank you, CB.
Yeah, I mean, thanks for your efforts.
Different take. calm take.
It's a different take. So a lot of the Spurs and Chelsea stuff is often. He's right. There is a heritage to it, and a lot of it's about the hooligans' rivalry in that respect. There's something about Tottenham that you're ignoring here willfully, because Chelsea are not Chelsea doesn't even come in the conversation of who I hate most.
That used to.
Like not Arsenal, the club I hate most, and then Chelsea a distant second in comparison. But you ask every Arsenal fan, you ask every Chelsea fan, and ask every West Ham fan who they hate the most, and it's Spurs. And I just want to know why.
Most. Do you think Chelsea fans hate the most as you?
Well, yeah, I think so. I think that Spurs are considered to be. There was actually some work
that would be interesting.
I think Spurs were the most hated club in the Premier League, and it showed people they interviewed as many. They interviewed like 1,000 fans from each club, and we were on 4. We were most hated.
There might need to be a poll at some point on a live pod. Well, this is live, of course, but live on the main channel. Right, let's keep moving forward because that's all we can do. New bit possibly from James Evans. Am I salty? Yes, that would be the name of the bit. Now, Flav, you might not like this, but I think it's a possible bit. Does my head in when someone makes an FPL decision that lacks logic but ends up being successful? My mate triple captain Jesus. I said surely not. Wait for a Salah double game week. Jesus proceeds to breed points. Makes me look like a right mug. Yeah. Am I salty? Yes. I want accept in the comments. I want what you're salty about and an acceptance of that. Okay? Get it out. Get it off your chest. Maybe it'll help. Okay? How to always be right at the football. It's clever from Harley. Harley says there's a way to always be right at football. I've discovered. This works for any open play attack or set piece the opposition has. You say they score. You say they'll score here. You go someone near you. Go. They'll score here. Now there's only 2 possibilities of what could happen here.
It was Kieran Trippier versus City. Everyone thought he was.
Everyone thought he was going to score, didn't they? But do you know what made me think he wasn't going to score? Was the fact that whoever was the guy standing next to him was too close to him, and it all looked a bit too casual. Such a good free kick, such a beautiful, good free kick. Unbelievable,
unreal.
He's
how
a
difficult
player.
It is to do
should
that.
Let him go, really, should you? Probably shouldn't have, should you?
No, probably not.
Shouldn't.
He wanted to, but it
was in a funny space for you guys as well, wasn't he?
Well, he took. I mean, he kept Carl Walker out of the Spurs team for a good while under Pochettino, and then eventually he was sold that season. So it's just he didn't have the athleticism of Carl Walker and a sort of wing back, but mate, he's a technician.
Quality though, yeah, that's it. It's funny, isn't it? Like Newcastle now, he's a god.
They love him up there, don't they?
So yeah, when you go, look, they'll score here. There's 2 possibilities of what could happen. Either one, they do score, and you've been proven right to your friends, and you look like you've got a massive football brain. Or 2, they don't score, and you've successfully jinxed the opposition. Done your bit for the team. So simple, so effective. Yeah, it's a good one, that. Power move from our very own Luke Stoko Pops, who it was unintentional. We got some men's toilet chat, guys. Hurrah! He's titled this Power Move Soap Dispenser in the Men's Toilets. Good title, isn't it? Good title. Yeah. Hello, lads. Hope you are. Have you had this, Flav? Let's see. I was in my local pub this week. How do you feel about pub toilets?
Well, I mean, never use.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Have you ever been if you're in a pub toilet and it doesn't honk, are you like, this is a bit too trendy, or are you like...
this is not a bit of me. I need it to absolutely stench of urine to sting my eyes.
Yeah.
That's what I need.
Yeah. It needs to be at a level where if you were to have a poo, you'd have to hold your breath.
You're not... pubs that give you flat surfaces in the cubicles, you know you're in a shit one. If that's the case.
Flat surfaces?
Yeah.
What do you mean? Oh. Sorry. What's your favourite type of urinal? Just quickly.
Type of urinal? I don't like. I'm not a big fan of. I know it's sort of stereotypical football, but I'm not a big fan of troughs.
Do you know what? And if it's going to be a trough,
the sound you made then, you're
mate. If it's going to be a trough, can you please let the trough go right down to the bottom? Like when the trough's like halfway up, it's just like fucking spray. Like God knows what spray. The mist is just horrific.
Yeah, like there's something about football, and you get down for a piss at half time, and there's just trough, and it's silver. It's like a silver trough.
Yeah, keep your
and because it's been there a while, the piss doesn't quite flow properly. And and you're sitting there, and loads of men just can't, yeah, and just pissing. And there's you don't. Sometimes the men have their dick out in the queue just so they're ready, and you're not thinking about the fact that you're in a room, right? You're in a room. It's 8:30 at night on a Wednesday night, and there is at least 70 men with their dicks out in this room.
Do you know what I hate? The one guy who. He'll come into the toilet. He'll go like this. Sorry, I got shorts. He'll walk in. Hang on, I've got to take the headphones for a second. He'll come in. He'll go. Especially if you're losing. It's been a bad first half. He'll walk in. Some guy comes in. He goes, "Terrible."
Yeah. Or fuck's sake.
Just terrible.
Terrible. Isn't it? Talk to no one.
Yeah, still, yeah. Talking like, what are you doing? Like, it's just
terrible.
So or like some guy. There's one guy I know his face. I don't know his name. At QPR, he'll come in and he's sort of posh, and he'll come in and just start giving like tactical analysis. It's not me before you start. And he's going like, "This zonal marking is just not working." Just like, shut up, please shut up. Right. Anyway. Let's know your favourite urinal. I like my own. If I can have my own, great, but please let it be down to the bottom, not at shin level or waist level. We were both at the urinals, excusing ourselves after a few beers. This is a random guy. He finished urinating before me and proceeded to move to the sink to wash his hands, and I followed a few seconds later. As he'd got there first, he'd already started to wash his hands, and I'd clocked that he hadn't used soap to do so. Okay. As I arrived at the sink, I noticed that he was about to leave to move to the dryer. Before he could turn the tap off, I moved to the sink next to him and slammed on the soap dispenser to dispense some soap into my hands. Then proceeding to turn my tap on next to him and start to wash my hands very thoroughly, whilst unintentionally making a small glance over to his sink as I did so. As he looked across at me midway through leaving his sink, he immediately realised that I'd seen him not use soap, and that I knew he was going to walk away without washing his hands properly. Without a second thought, he quickly turned his tap back on and proceeded to re-wash his hands,
Wow.
Now using soap to do so, totally disregarding his first wash in a state of panic and disarray.
I don't want him to think I'm a dirty bastard.
Yeah. I inadvertently made another man re-wash his hands without having to communicate with him, simply by pressing a soap dispenser. I didn't mean to send him into a frenzy of embarrassment and guilt, but sadly, this power move had caused him to do so. Whilst it was unintentional, the power did feel good. Only forwards, Stoker. Very good.
Good work, Stoker.
I've got a mate who it says Dave, but you know him. I've got a mate who we had this massive, long, sort of drunken debate about. He was saying he washes his hands before and after having a wee.
Really?
And I was like, what? Yeah, he said it's more important to wash your hands before than after. And I was like, what? And I think that's where we got confused when we were drunk. And I was like, what? Why are you washing? You can't wash your hands before. What? And then I realised in the end that what he was actually doing was being quite, because he's going to be, holding his peace. So he's washing his hands, then holding his peace with clean hands, then having a wee, then cleaning.
What I don't understand is like
sort of
it's all the same skin, right? It's all connected to your same body. why? Like, you wouldn't wash your hands if you were just walking around. It's only you're about to piss that he washes his hands before weeing.
Yeah,
makes no difference.
It does. He loves to bum off with his own fingers though.
He fingers himself while he's having a wank.
Just during the day.
Oh, he fingers himself randomly during the day.
I'm just joking because so he needs to wash his hands before. Self bum.
Just a random fingering.
Do you know what, this will be interesting.
Just imagine him just sitting there at work, sort of like 4 o'clock. Might nip into the toilet and give myself a finger.
or
I'll be back in 15 minutes.
Or sort of ask his other colleagues like it's a cigarette. Self bum. We can have. Is this meeting still happening at 3? Yeah, I'll just have, me and Flav are just gonna have a quick self bum and then we'll 10 minutes. 10 minutes. Oh, so annoying.
10 minutes?
I don't because I don't self bum. So I'm ready for the meeting. The meeting's supposed to be at 3 and we're starting at 3:10 because these two are off self bumming downstairs.
Yeah. Now, how much time are they not working when they're self bumming? Like, I'm not into self bumming.
Yeah.
I have to work.
Yeah. So
like, they're getting like an hour,
do we? We'll get an hour, do we? Because these guys seem to be going down every 5 minutes for a self
bum. We'll get an hour, do we? Well, can I leave an hour early? Because if I'm not into self bumming, can I get an hour out of my day?
Yeah. No. Oh, because I leave at 3 on a Friday because I'm the only one who doesn't self bum.
I'm just bringing it up. It just doesn't seem fair. Doesn't seem fair. Just because I don't self bum, everyone else is having an hour out of their day self bumming, and that.
Yeah. Can I have some chewing gum? It's not chewing gum. It's I'm trying to stop self bumming.
Self bumming.
Self bum gum. Brilliant. Right. Resident ref Matt Robson. Who knew? We were talking about referees last week, and as a 6'4" 19-year-old referee, hoping to make it professionally, so let's keep an eye on Matt Robson. Flav's comments left me with mixed emotions. A compliment saying I shouldn't be a referee because I'm too tall and have a lot going for me, but then saying refs are a special breed. All I would say is that being the tallest person on that pitch as the ref feels pretty good, so I would encourage any other lanky lads to pick up a whistle. I just wanted to let the world know that we now have a residential ref, and so if there are refereeing questions,
yeah, that's good.
he could be our Peter. What's it, Peter Walton?
Yeah.
Did I tell you that Dom said this so funny? He said it really loud in a pub. It was quite a loud pub, and then they the game was on the big screen, and they went to Peter Walton to get a view on a decision. Dom went, shut up! Everyone fucking shut up! Peter Walton's talking. So funny. Right.
What do you make of that? This thing about them, the referees, there's kind of this push or a conversation to try and get referees to explain the decisions after games.
I don't think it would work, if I'm honest. I
Why?
don't think it would work. Just because, I mean, actually, I lie. Maybe it would. I think
they should be mic'd up.
Yeah, I'd feel better about being mic'd up than having to sort of do press conferences afterwards, because that feels like they're kind of being shot at. Whereas, like, in the moment, if you're kind of explaining your thought process, even if it's wrong, then so
makes sense. But the thing is that all of it's just so subjective that it doesn't matter if they explain the decision or not, because everyone's still going to have their opinion.
Yeah, so like the Trippier one, because I thought Trippier was good in terms of being honest, where he was like, I want to win the game. Like they were going to be through. I need to take him out.
Yeah, the problem. Yeah, no one blames him for that. No one says that's what's really refreshing.
But no one's having a go at him for that thought process. But it is subjective in terms of if you feel like that's a red or not. My thought was the fact that he changed it felt odd to me. Like, if that's your view on it and you feel like that's a red card because it is high, they are on their way. It's incredibly
it was a poor decision.
Foul. Then
everybody said that is. Kind of, but that when you was watching it, no one thought that was a red. It wasn't a dangerous tackle.
It's tricky, isn't it? It's blatant. So blatant.
Yeah, but blatant. But a professional foul isn't a red card. It's
yeah. Is it any worse than him? Like, if he'd rugby tackled him?
No. So that'd be a yellow card as well. Yeah. Exactly. So it's the same thing. It's mad that's like a yellow card, and Romero literally pulled Cucurella to the ground. He's not had a great start, Cucurella, is he? Good player, but
got an assist in his first game against you.
Yeah, I know who it was against, mate. I watched it.
Oh yeah. Okay, we'll finish with this. Oh yeah. First of all, I'm gonna play this to you. I don't know if you're aware that of this happening.
Necessary? Mate. I was aware of it. Necessary? No, okay, go on.
Might go to
brings me up to chat about the game result. Just 1-2. What you're digging me out for? Freud. It's just a slip.
Let me read it. I'll read the comment. So Harry Randall at Flav at 50 minutes. Flav subtly says, "We just won 2-2." Not quite a salmonism, but definitely an insight into what years of being a Tottenham fan does to one's psyche.
It was like a win, though. It was like, I know it wasn't a win; it was a draw, but just the impact that had on Chelsea, going from winning to drawing. Yeah, I don't know. Apologies, my brain did it. I didn't.
It happened to Kane as well, didn't it? Do you think you would have done that regardless, or do you think you did it because Kane did it?
I was aware of it, actually. I was aware that Kane did it. I don't think it was a conscious decision. It's just my brain doing its job, filling in stuff for me, so I don't have to think about every word I'm saying, as is how the brain works. It's not that big a deal. Don't have to make a big section about it on the next podcast. It's not necessary, really.
Just to be clear, you don't think you won 2-2?
Moral, we won them. Well, we didn't win the moral. We were definitely the baddies in that game. No, I don't think we won. I'm acutely aware that we drew.
Okay.
It just fell out of my mouth.
Okay. Cool. Right, that's it. I enjoyed that. It was good. Good pod.
There's more to Oiland and this.
I've got other bits, but I feel like
that's fine. We're done.
I'm not sure if they're strong enough. I'm just not sure if they're strong enough.
Look, it's early. They're still working the podcast out for the season. This isn't.
Yeah. There's things that go through me.
People having a go, James. Are people having a go at us? Is that are we getting sniped at? Is that what we said?
I'll be honest. I'm more wary of you getting annoyed of me reading. That's what I'm more aware of. I don't want that. I don't want it to happen. Okay, so very, very quickly. Things Dad said at the football. I did like that. This said that the Turkey Fish 15 said that things Dad said at the football. Anytime me and my dad go watch a lower league local game, I'll always say, "Show us a trick." Anytime a winger touches the ball, quite like that.
Yeah, that is good.
Show us a trick, son. Right. If you want to join us,
watching. Just quickly, you know, it was saying to my dad. I'd say my dad always goes about hitting it long. Hitting it long was what we talked about last week.
Yeah.
We nearly scored from this brilliant playing out from the back. I was in the pub with him watching it. And I said to Dad, see, that's what you get when you play out. Did you see that bit where it worked really well? And all the times in this game where it wasn't a problem, that's what we need to concentrate on. Stop focusing on just that bit where something doesn't go quite right and focusing on the long ball, because you're doing it all the time, doing my head in. What to stop? Or I won't watch football with you anymore.
Threat.
Is that all right? Okay. I'll try to be better.
Is that it?
Well, yeah.
Is that it?
It's not the best way to end the pod, is it?
Well, no, I was just saying. I was waiting for 2 minutes later. He said it again.
But no, he didn't. He hasn't done it
good,
since.
He's tried.
I'll let you know. I'll let you know when.
See if he gets on.
Oh, hold on. Is it the Champions League draw right now? We've got doing a live reaction, Jim. What's happening?
Oh, God, you shat me up there. No, because it's like this is the time there's normally a Champions League draw, but right. It's at 5. Fucking hell.
Oh, yeah, I didn't know that.
Wouldn't have mattered really. Anyway,
are you doing a live reaction to the Champions League draw?
Off to read up now.
Rangers, good result for them, wasn't it? Beating PSV.
Yeah. Great to see him in there, isn't it?
In Eindhoven. Yeah, I hope we get them so we can fucking batter them.
Yeah, that'd be fine. Right. Time to go. Bye, guys. Have a good weekend. Become a slug. Links in the description. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.